All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to the newest episode of the Minority Pod with my amazing, beautiful-looking, greatest lawyer of all time, Mustafa Khalil.
What up?
There he is, coming in hot.
Always, man.
Amazing story guest.
You forgot to introduce yourself, bro.
I always do it last.
Oh, all right. My bad. It's been a while.
Khalil Abu Rayyan, a.k.a. Ray, on TikTok.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate that.
Of
Thank you for
course.
coming
And
on,
then
man.
myself, the host, other host, Khalil Bazi. Okay, so let's do a quick house cleaning before we get started. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate all the support we've been getting recently since the Dearborn Post. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And anything else, Hawili?
Yeah. So we were going to have a sponsor this week, but due to Khalil's story, I think it's a very important story. We decided just to keep it blank, no sponsorships. I don't want anybody sponsoring this episode. This is just very important to us. And being that Khalil reached out to us too, I want to keep it sponsor free just because of the importance. I don't want anybody putting, any kind of sponsorships on this specific episode. It's a very important topic here and very important story. Khalil, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you guys for having me. My name is Khalil Abu Rayyan, a.k.a. Ray Jr. on social media. I am a 28-year-old Palestinian. I'm currently right now a full-time college student where I'm majoring in sociology. I'm also a certified paralegal. I just got certified earlier this year.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, thank you. Also a recovering addict, and we'll talk about that later on. That's a flex. And I'm also a social media content creator where I post on TikTok, and just recently I started taking YouTube and Instagram seriously as well.
Cool. And for those of you that don't know Khalil, tell them the most important thing about you. Probably like the main reason why we're here.
Well, yeah, that's why we're here. So I did 4 years in federal prison. Ultimately, I was convicted for a firearm possession. However, which made it federal, which made it that much time, was that the feds basically implicated and accused me of supporting terrorism, ISIS to be exact.
But they literally connected you to ISIS?
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
I was watching a news. I looked up his name, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing that popped up on YouTube was, this is what I heard. This is what I literally see on the news. It says Khalil was sold himself to ISIS and went and took firearms to a church in Detroit and was planning to kill everyone.
What?
That was the exact thing that popped up. You can literally see it right now.
This was on YouTube?
It's on everywhere. Look up his
No,
name.
no, but it's like, who the
It was
fuck came up with this
It was
story?
a legit article. The guys were talking about it, and they did it. The guy was right in front of the church, and he's like, "This is about to happen. This is that."
What?
Yeah, this is pretty.
It was a lot of news articles. They were claiming that the FBI thwarted, they foiled the plan, that they caught me with a bunch of arsenal and guns and bombs and just crazy stuff. Like, my thing was, like, if that even was remotely true, I would not even be here right now. You know what I'm saying? That's one. I would be 6 feet under or disappeared somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, "Damn."
Okay, so Khalil, why don't you tell people what the real story is?
Okay.
Like the actual story.
Sure. And I'm just going to keep it blunt, and I just want you guys to, know, and your viewers to know, no way, shape, or form am I anti-government or am I supporting any type of terrorism. Whatever happened at the end of the day, and I'm here to basically talk about my story. So growing up, I always kind of just struggled with mental health and drug abuse, Ultimately, after I graduated high school, things really got bad for me mentally and for my drug abuse. I started with marijuana, just like what a lot of people start with. And then for me, it sounds cliche, but it is a gateway drug. I mean, for me, it was. If marijuana started, that the effects started to fade, then I started to experiment with other drugs and then alcohol. So pretty much this is around 2015, 2014. This is during when ISIS started to kind of rise, when the media was saying that, they're going to take over the world and they're right next door and all that type of stuff. So this is when they were really, really popular. And for me, as an Arab, I don't know if other Arabs have dealt with this, I always struggled with identity issues.
Yeah.
Like, who am I? What am I?
Right.
I'm too Arab to be American, and I'm too American to be Arab. My family, we were raised a certain way, like other Arab households, but when you get out of that household, you see just how different you are for some people. And that's really what I was dealing with. So here comes ISIS. And I'll be honest with you guys. I started watching their videos, started seeing stuff on Twitter and on Facebook. For me, think of it this way. Why would somebody, an urban kid, right, want to join a gang? A sense of belonging. And that's really the cause nature of it, to want it to belong to something. Here are these guys portraying that they are Muslims fighting on behalf of other Muslims, and they're going to bring justice into the lands. That is when, in a sense, that I got attracted to, Next thing you know, on Twitter, instead of watching it, I was retweeting some of their videos. Basically, on Twitter, you retweet, other people can see it and stuff. Somebody had tagged the FBI, was like, hey, check this guy out. I didn't think nothing of it. Weeks went by. Next thing you know, I'm getting crazy DMs on Twitter and on Facebook. There are guys portraying, they're like, oh, we are a soldier of ISIS, and we're looking for brothers to commit attacks in Detroit and in Germany. I'm like, okay, you're naming one state where I live in, and then you're naming like 5, 6 other, foreign countries. But at that time, I didn't think there was nothing of it because I'm induced with drugs and stuff. So I didn't think nothing of it. I ignored it. In comes FBI informant number 1, a woman. I don't know if you guys ever watch Criminal Minds in your guys' life.
Yeah, I have.
FBI profilers, right? So what they do pretty much is that they look at them, they say, okay, what is his weaknesses? What is his ticks? And it was a woman. They tried the guys. The guys didn't work. I think a lot of men, our weakness is a woman, you know? And at that time, I was dealing with a lot of insecurities, and I was really in love. I was like, okay, so this girl comes in. Her name was Ghada, a Pakistani girl, right?
Wow.
Okay. We start talking. And then next thing you know, I'm like, hey, look, I'll be honest with you. It's going to sound weird, but like I fell in love with this girl. I was like, damn, like I think I see a future with this girl.
Oh shit. So
yeah.
So her approach to you was more like I want to get to know you for marriage.
Yeah, get to know you for marriage, complimenting. She was sending me photos of her with her family, graduation photos, things like that. So I'm like, okay, this could be real. I'm like, hey, look, I need to do this the halal way. You know what I'm saying? Point blank period. My family needs to meet your family, and we got to do this the right way. That's the only way I can do it.
Right.
She said, okay, that's fine. I just talked to my dad. He said that's cool. So I'm like, oh, okay, bet. I'm getting married. You know what I'm saying? This is awesome.
Yeah.
The next day, she's like, oh, I'm having second thoughts about this. I can't do this. I got to go. And she just blocked me right then and there.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. So I'm heartbroken. The drug starts picking up. The mental health starts picking up. And then comes informant number 2. And this was the main one that was kind of been talked about on the news and things like that.
Yeah.
19-year-old Iraqi girl. I was 21 at the time, and then she was telling me, she's like, oh, Allah sent me to come talk to you. I just been dealing with a lot of things. She had a husband supposedly in Syria that just got killed. He was an ISIS soldier. I'm like, okay, I don't know what was going on. I was ignoring the situation, but she kept on kind of persisting. So her and I were just pretty much talking, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I can't lose. For some reason, I gave it a chance. I was like, okay, I want to be with this girl. And this whole time, I'm talking about marriage and being with her. She's telling me she's a suicidal girl, just wants to go blow herself up somewhere. You know what I'm saying? For me, I'm like, okay.
Literally what she was telling
me.
me.
She was like, I'm like, you know what? You need just a man in your life. That's what I feel like you need. I think all these other thoughts of yours will disappear if I just come into your life and all that type of stuff. So she kind of fell for it. And next thing you know, she was kind of doing like back and forth. She would tell me, that she loves me, being with me. And then the next day, she's playing manipulation games. She's like, I don't know about this. So for me to keep her, I would say, crazy things of wanting to hurt people, wanting to shoot up a church, wanting to do these things. You know what I'm saying? So I can keep this girl. But there was never plans. There was never weapons. There was never blueprints. Now, just some guy who has it as a guy talk big crap to a girl. You know what I'm saying? To flirt with stuff. For me, though, it was acts of terrorism, though. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it kind of was. So she would tell me all the time, she's like, are you wanting to do this? Is this what you want to do? Each time I said, no, I don't want to hurt anybody. She's like, oh, you're a coward. You're a fraud. I don't know if I could talk to somebody like you. I'm like, oh, man, I'm losing another girl. So while I felt like she was pushing back, I was pushing in and saying these crazy statements. So
a lot of it was just like weakness because
that's really what it was in a sense. And then on top of that, so for me, I just kind of had it with, the drugs really started to get bad. Mental health started to get bad. And at that point, I contemplated suicide. And I was talking to her, and I was like, hey, you know what? I don't know if I can do this anymore. I'm pretty much just going to, off myself. I'm tired of it. She called me, and then she was like trying to counsel me and tell me, you know what, the only way you can kill yourself in Islam is if you go and commit a istishhadi operation.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
the only way you can kill yourself in Islam is by killing other people?
Yeah, by killing yourself and killing other people. That is the only way it's permissible in Islam. You know what I'm saying?
How is the government allowed to do this?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, it's crazy, man. And then I was like, you know what? I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want myself. I just want to be gone. I don't want to hurt nobody.
Yeah.
So the next day, that's when the FBI raided me because they're like, okay, we're watching this guy. Imagine if we have a dead body on our hands because of this guy. So I was raided by the FBI, and the whole time the agents were making it seem like she's in the next door over. I'm trying to protect her. I didn't find out till she was an informant until I went to court for my hearing. And
you saw her testify.
Yeah, basically like, hey, this is FBI. I said, damn. She's an FBI informant. So that's kind of how it went, man.
Out of curiosity, have you heard or seen from this informant since?
I seen her in court, and sometimes we were like locking eyes and stuff. I would see her face flush, but not after that, though, no.
Really?
Yeah.
They made a movie or something similar to that.
Sometimes people put in my comments something with the N it starts with. I don't remember what.
What's the movie you're talking about?
It came out last year. It was about an actual ISIS member So it was an actual ISIS member and a government FBI agent was trying to find these people, and then somehow found linked on Facebook or something like that, and it was actually FaceTiming. And she actually got him to fall in love with her, to like coordinate plans to stop it and stuff like that. It's pretty wild.
Really?
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
Huh. So I don't know where to start, man. So
it's pretty wild.
I'm going to ask you a question, though. You said that, but when we were talking earlier, you said all this stemmed from you just buying a gun.
Yeah, so at that time I was working at my father's pizza place in Detroit. And if you guys know, doing delivery in Detroit, I mean, that's more dangerous than cop jobs. And we've had numerous times where our drivers were getting jumped, they were getting robbed. I was like, okay, not me. Michigan is an open carry state. I said, you know what? I need to arm myself. So I went and I bought a firearm, okay? And I filled out on the form, and then it says on that form, do you use drugs? I said, no, I don't. So if you lie on any government form, it's a federal offense.
Yeah.
But the feds, the only reason why they picked it up was because they were trying to indict me on terrorism charges, which never happened.
So what'd you end up being charged with?
So I was charged initially with the feds. They were like, okay, we got him for false statement to acquire a firearm and possession of a firearm by a prohibited person. They waited almost a month to go to the grand jury, so we're like, okay, we want to get him on material support. That carries from 0 to life, okay? And that's what they were hoping to get me on. The grand jury said no indictment. Even you're a lawyer. My lawyer said the grand jury will indict a ham sandwich. Like, they will just indict.
No, that's a load of crap, bro. They need hardcore evidence for that kind of a charge, bro.
No, but it was very telling that a grand jury that they don't know who, they just see the name Khalil Rayyan, what they have, and just to return back with no indictment, especially on terrorism-related charges. You know what I'm saying? So it goes to show you there was no guns, there was no bombs, there was no blueprints, there was nothing, just me opening my mouth and saying something to an undercover agent.
But they gave you, what, you said 4 years?
They gave me 4 years. The prosecutor wanted to give me 8.
They gave you 4 years for lying on a form?
They wanted, my guidelines were 10 to 15 months. That's all I was supposed to get, if that.
Yeah.
10 to 15 months. The prosecutor pulled in. He's like, we want to give him 96 months.
But why 96 months?
Because of the
bullshit that was with the
bullshit that was brought up, the alleged, the alleged interest with ISIS and things like that.
But those are just words.
Exactly. It's constitutionally protected, right? And the judge was like, even though it is constitutionally protected, it does bring a lot of concern to his status, to his mind. So I need to give him more time because the case was public. It was public. So there's a lot of pretrial publicity. Even the prosecutor told my lawyer, he was like, look, the government has an image to keep, and we need to make an example out of him because of that. They spent all this resource. I was under surveillance for almost more than a year. FBI cars were parked in front of my house following me. They were bringing in people as customers, but they were actually feds. You know what I'm saying? They put a lot of time in this case.
Absolutely. When the federal government gets involved, it's a lot of money they spend, bro.
Yeah, so they had to get something.
Yeah, these guys don't miss.
Exactly. Even when I was sentenced, I was technically sentenced to 60 months, which is 5 years. Even the prosecutor on record, he said, we're very disappointed with this sentence. Very disappointed with the sentence. He wanted that 96 months. He wanted at least 8 years. If I would have got 8 years, I would still be inside.
Yeah.
So let me okay. How is it legal for someone to basically keep pushing someone till they snap and then they bust in and get him? Like, think about it. They went and approached him. They got a girl to basically play with him while he took advantage of him. How is that legal? How?
You want to be honest with you?
Yeah.
I think it's just terrible lawyering.
That he actually went to jail?
Yeah, I think because he told me he had a public defender.
You had a public defender?
Yeah. The federal attorneys, they charge an arm and a leg.
Yeah, they do. He's not lying. They do.
Could you take on a federal case?
I do, but it's not cheap. It's literally a case like that has only like 50 grand to start.
Minimum,
yeah, bro. Do you remember that? Do you remember the Haitham Bazzi story?
Yeah.
Do you know that's a 6-figure
case?
It's a 6-figure representation case. Like, when the family reached out to me, I told them, I'm like, that's how much it's going to cost. Like, how do you expect us to afford it? I'm like, I don't know. This is how much the shit costs. Federal court's not cheap.
That was a federal case, right?
Absolutely. Child pornography is federal. But yeah, that's why. So I just think it's bad. And here's the thing. And, another thing, for the attorneys that are watching this, the court-appointed attorneys on the federal level are a lot better than the court-appointed attorneys on the state level.
Of course.
Yeah, they're a lot better, but they're still I'm not saying all court-appointed attorneys are bad. I'm saying, imagine like a fantasy football draft, right? You put all the names are going in the hat, and it's luck of the draw. You're either going to get, a good pick or you're going to get a bad pick, right? Yeah. It's kind of the same idea. let's say you get fucking 20 federal court appointed attorneys. Of the 20, you'll get maybe 5 or 6 that are actually pretty good at their jobs. And if you get that, that unlucky one, the one that's trying to get the case out of the way, get paid, have the guy take a plea and move on, you're fucked. That's how it is. I think it's bad lawyering. In my opinion, bro, I would have attacked his state of mind because he was an addict, right? His mental health. There was obviously a history of drug addiction in which the federal government took advantage of. You have, at the same time, you have words without action. There was a lot you could have done here. Yeah, the government wants to make, I understand the need to make an example out of you from a government level. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying I understand where they're coming from. But it's like there is no statute that says if somebody says something, we're just allowed to just do 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know what I mean? Yeah. How many times do you see on the news, somebody's been arrested for, bringing a gun to school, or somebody's been arrested for calling a bomb threat on a school. Yeah. Like, these guys aren't doing fucking 30 years. No. You know what I'm saying? No. It's a joke.
It's rude because, bro, I'm telling you, look up his name and that's all you see.
Yeah. I believe that. I just think but he's, with all due respect, Khalil, you're not the first one in this community, that's been through this. Right. There are other people in this community. I'm sure we're going to have a few more on here that have dealt with the federal government, especially on a terrorist, sense. Yeah, on a terrorist sense, it's a joke. It's a joke.
And if I could just chime in, when I was incarcerated in prison, I met a lot of Muslim young Arab men, and they kind of had a similar story. People from New York, people from Boston, different states. This is what the feds were doing at that particular time, inserting undercover FBI informants to try. And the people that they were targeting were young Arab men, right, who were already mentally not there, who were already dealing with things to take advantage of. What they were trying to do was rack up convictions. That's what the situation was. And they were playing with their minds, you know what I'm saying? And then that's how they were getting convicted for it, bro. They were messing with that.
That's tragic, bro.
That's bad. How was prison, like...
I got to ask you a question. A lot of people say federal prison shits on state prison. Is it like, have you ever been at no point you were ever in state prison, right?
No.
Describe the setting of a federal prison.
So there was a lot of things like, oh my God, you're going to federal prison. You're going to get, vending machines and golf courses and tennis. I went, you know what I'm saying? They made it.
Fucking Jordan Belfort kind of shit,
huh? Like, okay, like this is awesome. Maybe in camps, those are like low level, like, tax evasion, things like that. That is what you're going to go to a camp. I went to Terre Haute, Indiana, one of the oldest prisons in the BOP, okay? They had sliding doors. They had roaches. There was no AC, no heat. The water had lead in it. I'm like, okay, where is this federal person that you guys are talking about? You know what I'm saying? You guys, that was my experience that I had to deal with. Shit. You had to deal with politics, people clicking up. You know what I'm saying? One person gets to another, next thing it was going to be a war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is what you had to deal with.
How's the free time over there?
A lot of times if there was not drama and we weren't locked up, for the most part, you can go to the yard or go to a library or go program as much as possible. But it's like prison, bro. It's like there was always some type of drama going on. Any issues you get in a fight with anybody inside? So my entire 4-year term, I got into like 2 fights. One was kind of like at the beginning because the guy was pretty much talking shit like, "Oh, you're a terrorist in front of you." I had to do something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was that you're gonna look like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? 100%. So I had to. You know what I'm saying? And then the second time was I was a commissary man in prison. I was selling like commissary items, chips, stuff like that. This guy wouldn't want to pay me. You know what I'm saying? And he pretty much just said, "Hey, just get it in blood." You know what I'm saying? So it was just, I had to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't give you another case while you were inside.
No, those type of things, like you go in a cell, you will handle it. There's usually lookouts or something, and you won't get caught. There's a lot of things that happen that you don't get caught. Phones, there were people that had phones in there, which is, at least at the prison I was at,
it's illegal. No, they're illegal.
You're catching another case. People literally had phones in there.
Some video went live in prison.
Yeah, you can see it. It's all like on TikTok and
stuff. I had a client that got in trouble while he was, so his bond was too high. He couldn't afford bond. And while he was inside, hoping that he can pay his bond, he caught another case for sneaking a phone in.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. No, yeah.
Sure. How was it? So we went in what, 2017?
2016.
2016, yeah.
What difference did you see when you came out?
So I seen like
TikTok wasn't a thing.
Yeah, TikTok was not a thing. It was more of like more on Facebook. Instagram kind of popped up when I went inside. You know what I'm saying? But like I seen that like my family had gotten older. Things like kind of like cultures a little bit had kind of changed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like I was still trying to like readapt to things. I thought my life was going to be khalas. That's it. It's like my life is perfect when I got up. But bro, like PTSD is a real thing. Like post-traumatic stress after prison. Like even till this day, I get nightmares from being in prison, flashbacks from being in prison. The situation, what happened to me, paranoia. So like, bro, like I felt real bad mentally when I came home, like really bad.
Yeah, 3 things. So did your family like? Okay, so when you came out, how was your interaction with your family?
It was okay. Like, I mean, they dealt with a lot, you know what I'm saying? And my family, you know, they stuck with me. They visited me and stuff like that. Like, it was more of a situation where, like, okay, now it's your turn. They put, like, unnecessary pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you've been gone all these years and we held it down. Now
time to make up for it. Yeah,
it's your turn. It's your turn, you know, and it put a lot of pressure on me, you know.
So what are you up to these days, man?
So right now, I do content. I started making videos. It was just more of a coping mechanism for me. I heard about TikTok. I thought it was a kids app, you know, and I decided just to give it a try. And I gave it a try, and I literally just posted a video of me from a couple prison mugshots to me coming home, and it just blew up.
Really?
It just blew up from there. I didn't know people were really impressed or like really interested in hearing about prison stuff, you know. So I was giving them prison stories. I was giving them I was in prison with the Somali pirate. Abdul Wali was
released today, right?
No, he's
Not
doing
today.
30 years.
30 years, I'm
30
sorry.
years, yeah. The one they made the movie from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I met him in prison. yeah. So like I talked about that, and it was blowing up, you know. And
he was in Indiana.
He was in. They had him in a CMU unit, and over there in Terre Haute, they had the terrorist unit. So they had the American Taliban dude over there. You know what I'm saying? So like they would let out a few of them at a time, and they let out the Somali pirate, and that's when I met him at general population.
No shit.
Yeah.
Is he chill?
No, he's chill, man. He gained a lot of weight. He gained a lot. He's only 16 when he caught his case, man.
Oh, wow.
They try to make it seem like he was 18. No, he was only 16, you know?
That's crazy.
But yeah, man. So other than that, from social media, I decided to go back to school, being a full-time college student right now, majoring in sociology, you know, and that's kind of just, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
What about the people that you knew before you went into? Have you got in contact with them?
Oh no, man! When I went in, bro, those guys were taking up to the people we were just talking about where I graduated from. They were talking so much crap. We knew he was a weirdo. We knew that he was something wrong with him. We're not surprised. And like I got to see a few of them on the street, and they kind of like, oh, what's up? Where you been? Like, nah, bro, you knew where I've been, bro, because it's like you were talking so much crap, which is whatever. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about it, but it just those type of things. You know, so I decided to kind of just.
You know what's funny though?
Yeah.
Those guys that I mentioned before, I'm not gonna say their names on here, but you know, most of them caught a case before you did.
I heard a few. Yeah, I heard about.
I don't know if you heard about it.
Yeah,
they did.
I mean, the thing is, for like mine is just because it was a situation involving like ties to like ISIS, for example.
Yeah, but that's
so, like,
bullshit.
Yeah, but it's like I can understand people's like, I don't want to kind of mess with this guy. You know what I'm saying? I can understand it. You know, but if you really knew the full story, it wasn't necessarily that. But I can understand like some of the pushback. You know?
Yeah. I get that.
Man, God help your parents. Man, when you went in for your parents, I felt, man, that's bad.
Yeah, I mean,
especially in a community like Dearborn.
Yeah. It started with, like, they were kind of ostracized a little bit, but as people started to really get the bigger picture, they were telling me, like, hey, we got a call from so-and-so. People are, like, offering their support. People are offering their good praises, their prayers, things like that, because they're starting to know the actual story. It was a situation where, no, man, I was duped by the FBI. It wasn't like that I was trying to do something, you know what I'm saying, or I was doing this. It was a situation where, FBI picked them. That's really what it was.
You were... so my aunt this is about 4 or 5, you don't live on Jonathan, did you?
No.
Okay. Just confirm this wasn't the same story. So one time they closed off my aunt's block down in Jonathan next to Sky Lounge. And they closed down the whole block for like almost the whole day. And her neighbor claimed that like he was ISIS and everything. And they shut down everything. They wouldn't allow no one to come in. None of the neighbors were allowed to come out. They had guns. They had everything. It was a whole process.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty
when the
wild.
feds come, they're coming deep. I was raided by the ATF. I was raided by the U.S. Marshals and the FBI. Like, it was bad.
What do you mean raided? Like, they literally...
they come in and clean house, bro.
Yeah.
No, I've been dude, I had one of my clients, one of his siblings called me and told me, hey, you know, so-and-so is being raided. You need to go there now. Yeah. Dude, the way they do it, it's fucking crazy. Yeah. Like, they literally closed down an entire street. At the time for him, it was DEA, ATF, Homeland Security, and ICE.
Oh, my God.
It was a joke.
Oh, yeah.
What is it exactly? Like, knock on the door and they just come straight
No,
in?
they don't knock on the door. No. They kick that shit down, bro.
Yeah.
They're going straight in.
They're
going straight in.
Real bad, man.
At that point, listen, man, if these guys got to your house, the warrant's been signed, The deal is, bro, it's been fucking signed in blood. They're just coming in at that point. No chance. They're not giving you any chance to hide anything.
They didn't even let my, like, living with my stepmom. They didn't even let her put her hijab on.
Yeah, that's what they do. So they go into the house, kill. Yeah, they go into the house first. They make everybody get out.
Yeah.
And then they conduct a search. Yeah. They don't ever search the house while you're in there. They make everybody stand outside. They put everybody, they detain everybody. Then they go in. Yeah. That's how they do it every time.
So they took his whole family out and then they raided for her.
My sister was 4 years old at the time. They just like, hey, just grab a little blanket for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was bad. They had my brother in handcuffs for hours in the back of a police car.
Yeah, because I can imagine family members probably get wild as they're trying to, like...
No, it's not that. It's they go in under the impression these people are armed and dangerous.
That's true.
So, yeah, so they treat it as such. Which is, don't get me wrong, for their protection, it's fine. But for, like, public humiliation, it's fucked up.
That's really what it was.
Yeah, it's public humiliation, you know?
That's wild.
Yeah.
All from sending some texts and all that stuff.
Bro, these guys don't fuck around. I'm telling you, bro. Listen, for the federal government to get involved and talk to any cop you know, any local cop, they'll tell you if the federal government's involved, there's a lot of money being spent, bro. You best believe they're not gonna spend all that money and they're not gonna come out with like a conviction. There is someone's going to jail. It's like there's no shot.
For sure.
Someone is going in.
For sure.
They don't give a fuck who it is, but someone's going in.
Yeah. So you think if you got a really good lawyer and you beat the case, that they would have been pissed?
No,
they spent all that money for nothing.
You want my opinion? There's no such thing as beating that kind of case. Okay, there's such thing as going to jail for a less amount of time. In my opinion, beating a case like that means 0 jail time. But no shot. If the federal government gets involved, someone's going to jail.
What is it, like a 90-some conviction rate off guilty pleas? They'll say, yeah, you can go to trial. Yeah, we'll let you go to trial, but like, here's our plea deal. Let's say we offer you 5. No, I want to go to trial. You lose, correct me if I'm wrong. We're cooking you.
Yeah.
Even though that's your constitutional right to go to trial, you lose, we're going to cook you.
So it's like, imagine like, put it this way, Kill. Imagine like, how can I say it? Imagine like, you go to a casino, right? You just hit roulette. You just made $35K. They tell you, listen, you walk away with your 35 or you give it one more chance. If you win, you're going to walk with 80. If you lose, you're walking away with nothing. What are you doing? You're likely going to take the 35, right?
So that's risky.
Fine, but then you walk away with nothing. So, like, here, I'll give you an example, okay? Like, a lot of the people I represent, like, on the state level, let's say, so, like, if you commit a felony for, like, the 4th time, you're due for an enhanced sentence. It's called you're considered a habitual 4th offender, meaning you're eligible to be sentenced longer than somebody that's regular who committed the same crime because it's your 4th time getting in trouble. Okay. So here's what they'll do. They'll say, hey, listen, we'll withdraw the habitual 4th, meaning we're not going to subject you to an enhanced sentence, but you're going to plead guilty and you're going to do 2 years in jail.
Make an agreement.
Make an agreement. If you say no and you go to trial, we're going to bring the habitual 4th back into play. Yep. And if you go to trial and you lose, you're looking at like 6 to 8. You look at your client, they're going to say, well, what do you think I should do?
It happens all the time, doesn't it?
Happens all the time. Yeah. And then you look at your client and your client says, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Well, what do you think I should do? I'm like, well, I don't fucking know. Like, from an attorney, obviously the 2 is better, but you're still going to jail. So what's your best bet? You go back to that prosecutor's office and you just crank him out for a better offer. That's really what you do. In his situation, it's unfortunate.
Like the Haitham Bazzi case. Like, you're not getting him no jail time. Example, right. Like, you're just getting him a better deal.
Right. So, like, you work towards a better deal. You don't work towards no jail. They got enough to put this. They're throwing the book at you. If the federal government is involved, the book's tossed, bro. Like there's no such thing as finding a little loophole and you're gonna walk away like Lincoln Lawyer kind of shit. No shot. They're fucking movies for a reason, bro.
I asked you this before, but would you want to take on a case like Haitham Bazzi?
Yeah, I don't mind. Is it fucked up like what he did? What he's being charged of?
Like as a scumbag.
Yeah, that's fine, right? But it's a job. Call it what you want. It's a job.
No, I don't blame you at all. But as far as like prisons or jails, we call them chomos, like child molesters. Even if it was
destroyed.
Yeah. So even though it was online, like it was just whatever they were like, they're still considering them as the same bracket as a child molester.
Oh, absolutely.
So they're going to like PC. They're getting pressed. They're getting beat up. Those and people they find out that like those people who are snitches, like you cooperated on your case and chomos, they're on the same bracket as to be like you are the scum. You know what I'm saying? Because like I commit a crime. I'm supposed to just hold my own. You know what I'm saying? Just take your heat. Don't be like, oh, no, it was such and such, so I can get less time. They look at that like you're weak. You know what I'm saying? You just hold your weight. If you commit your crime, just do your time.
I would have child molesters down here, snitches up here.
And people like I tell people that they're like, how does that make sense? But it's just like a cultural,
Well, let me ask you something. Speaking of like, you know, how prisoners, you know, look at a certain crime. How do they know what someone's being charged with?
It's
What
very
they came
easy.
in on?
The guards, right?
No, it's very easy. So you can have your pre-sentence investigation sent into you. You can also
Yeah.
have your docket sheet sent into you. You can also have your sentencing transcripts. We had legal mail, so even the staff couldn't touch it. You know what I'm saying? So right then and there, it'd be like, hey, this is what he was sentenced from. This is his conviction. PSI says everything. You
Right,
already know.
100%.
You know, so it's got everything. Every single court day you went to. Or worst case scenario, hey, here's this guy's name. Here's his inmate number. So you go to the federal BOP website, and it's very easy. Very easy.
I'm talking about the way you find out in prison.
Oh, we also had like a law library as well. So particular cases like your client would be on our law library.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, say for example, somebody came in, right?
Yeah.
How would Gen Pop know this guy's a chomo?
They would they would go up to him. They say, hey, we'll give you the opportunity right now. If you are a chomo, go check into PC right now.
Yeah.
Just go. Leave.
Yeah.
We're giving you that out. But if we find out, basically, I'll call like my mom or dad. Or like, hey, can you find this guy for me? It's public record. But if we find out that you're a chomo, you're getting beat off this yard. So they give you at least that window. Some spots they give you that window to leave. Sure enough, 99% will be like, okay, let me get out of here.
So it's 100% true. With child molesters get destroyed in jail, in prison.
Yeah.
They get like killed,
yeah.
not killed, but like.
So like the general rumor is, at least with state, I know it's child molesters and rapists,
Yeah.
and general rapists.
That's kind of. All right, it's messed up to say, but like I appreciate that.
What,
like,
like some prison yard justice?
Yeah, like prison yard. Like, all right, you're like you deserve death, but you know what? Go rot in a cell, and you're getting beat up every day, or that type of thing. You know what I mean? Like child
Fucked
molesters
up.
and stuff. Like it's messed up,
Yeah,
but
it's
like you
fucked
said,
up.
it's justice in a way.
It's street justice.
Street justice.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, back to your question, would I take on that kind of a case? Yeah, I would.
Someone's gonna get paid.
It's not about the money, bro. It's like, put it this way, okay? When you do this enough, you learn to like separate not your morals, but like your emotions from the case, right? This is just a job to me. Okay, I go into the office. I'm being paid to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. In my opinion, in any job, right? How do you get better at something if you can't challenge yourself? That's how I look at it. These are challenging fucking cases. These federal life sentence cases. It's not gonna get harder than that. You know, how do you hit your potential to be the best that you can be without? I'll be able to say, well, okay, you know, you can do murder as well. What the fuck's the difference? Somebody that killed somebody and somebody that raped somebody. Like, there's really a moral compass at that point. That's how I look at it.
I never asked you this question before. I don't even know if you can answer it, but like, have you ever looked at someone you know they're guilty and they're like, I'm guilty? I look at them like, come on.
What, you mean like I'm not guilty?
Like they look at you and like, I didn't do it, and you look at them like,
All the time, bro. I mean, it's very. You have to understand something, bro. A lot of, and I don't blame them for saying it, because a lot of people, especially like, you know, criminal defendants, bro, they already have trust issues. They have a background where, like, you know, they come from a dark past, probably a history of abuse, drug addiction. Trust is hard. You know, they're not gonna come and tell you, yeah, I did this shit. They're not gonna think you're gonna help them, especially if you're court appointed. Somebody that's paid by the government is gonna help you. Think about that for a minute. You know, let that like resonate with you.
no, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's very hard. Like with every client that I have, whether it's retained or, because bro, I do appointed work all the time. If it's retained or appointed, I talk to a client as if it's like I'm connecting with somebody outside of a business skill. Like, hey, listen, bro, like there's two sides to every story. You're saying you didn't do it. Here's what they're saying. I'm not gonna fucking hit them with, oh yeah, well guess what? I want you to watch this video. Here you go. I'm gonna press play for you. Look what are you really gonna lie to me? No, you gotta let them. You know, you gotta let them trust.
Ease
you.
into it.
Yes, I'd be like, yo, listen. There's two sides to every story. Here's the thing. It's confidential. None of it's gonna leak. It's just how it is. I have to be able to trust me. I gotta be able to trust you. Here's what the state is saying. Is any of it accurate? Though some of them are very like hard. They'll be like, no, it's all bullshit. Okay, fine. Well, then I have to show you something and let me know, what you think, and I'll show you.
You gotta play dumb for a bit. Not play
dumb, but no, you gotta kind of like, you gotta put yourself in their shoes.
Be
and then
after,
and eventually everyone opens up, but it takes time. I do not blame one person that's being charged with anything for telling their attorney they didn't do anything, because they don't trust anybody, and I don't blame them for it. It's just how it is.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. We're gonna take a quick break. And we're back. All right, so man, a lot of questions are piling up in my mind. Like, I like your sleeves.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. So I pretty much all my tattoos, I got them in prison. I tell people I got them in prison, and they don't believe me.
Yeah, I was like, that's
very
like
nice
this
work. Is like street where I get compliments for all the time. And like, what's crazy is if you get a tattoo here in the streets, obviously it's gonna be an arm and a leg. I paid for both my arms, chest tattoo and a back tattoo, $200.
How the hell how do you bring in money?
So it's not actual like money. It's going to be stamps. Stamps is considered money. So 10 stamps is equivalent to $4. You know what I'm saying? And that's what, there's hustles. You know, you have to hustle. Like anything that you can get out here, you can get it in there with the right type of money, with the right connections. You know,
they allow you to do tattoos, or is it?
It depended on the correctional law. Everything was safe. You know, like I'm blood test. Everything is good. So pretty much their tattoo needle is going to be a guitar string. We had Unicore over there. Basically, it's like a factory in prison. They were melting soot for making the ink. They had Transformer out of a fan. They had legit tattoo artists in there. All he needed was the supplies, putting it together. You know what I'm saying? And he's tattooing.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I've came around. The thing is, all my brothers have tattoos, 1 or 2 tattoos. I'm the only one that's clean, like had nothing on it. I always thought about getting one, but I don't know yet.
Yeah.
You get addicted. Once I got one, I was like, man, I want more, and then that's.
You said people comment on it all the time on your page.
Yeah, man, it's kind of annoying. It's kind of like, especially with like we call them the haram police. I don't know if you guys the haram police on social media. Like I'm pushing, for example, prison reform, or I'm just talking about my message, or I'm just talking about just something. They're like, oh, brother, why do you have tattoos? brother. Some guy was like, I'll offer you to pay to get them removed. I'm like, bro, keep your money, put it in charity. You know what I'm saying? It's just like real, like, why are you commenting that? There's like, it has no relevance to what I'm trying to put out there.
It's like the message is all around here, and the one thing he doesn't like, he constantly keeps saying it.
You know, my brother does that all the time.
What?
My little brother, like, I'll talk to him about something, and he'll just hit me with something completely from fucking left field. I'm just like, bro,
you know
what?
Like, logically, like, it's... You know, I'm blunt now. Like, if I tell someone and they're constantly being negative or they're constantly pointing out, like, what? Why? What are you doing? Why are you pointing out everything negative? Like I said, going back to that book I always refer to, pointing out people's negativity, it's like so bad. Like they're constantly, everything you say, they're just constantly and do you think it's coming out of like good intentions, or like your brother? He's not really truly trying to.
No. It's just like, I think they just miss a point. Like
some people are oblivious to doing it.
It's not oblivious. They're just like, they're so caught up in like what their own beliefs are and what they have to say that they ignore what somebody else is telling them. Have you ever, like, I see this, so like, I don't only do criminal work, I do a lot of divorce work, okay? And a lot of like my clients, they'll tell me, oh, you know, I'll try explaining to her, or she'll say, you know, I've tried explaining to him, I'll tell them everything, and they just tell me what they want to say. It's kind of like, imagine somebody's telling you what their issue is with you, right? And instead of you understanding where they're coming from, your response is, well, here's my issue with you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. Yeah. So somebody's like, as soon as you put out, you're talking about prison reform, you're talking about this, how you were duped by the FBI, and all this person is like, bro, fucking guy, Muslim, he has a tattoo.
So you're missing the picture
you're
here.
Missing the point. Like, they're not there to see the point. They're just there to judge.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And what's crazy is when I click on those profiles and I click on some of their, like, they're following half-naked girls on TikTok or half-naked girls on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you're kind of like, you know, if we really want to, like, nickel and dime you like that, look what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But you're trying to play sheikh on social media.
Because people are perfect.
Yeah.
Or flawless.
So there's something I do want to get into. Which was, I mean, I don't want to say it's the root cause of this, but it played a big role in everything you went through was, you know, your drug addiction.
Yeah.
How early did it start in your life?
So I pretty much started when I was a freshman in high school. Yeah, about 14,
weed,
15.
Right?
Yeah, I started with weed. Yeah. It was, I mean, when I tried it, I got high for the first time for weed, and then it was just kind of like, oh my God, like I can, I'm not even in this planet right now. And it's like, I always had an extreme personality. So if I had little of something, there's no little of something. I need more. So it came from like just smoking weed just once in a while. And I was smoking weed every day. I was bringing weed to school. I was getting my friends high. You know what I'm saying? And then it started to get bad. I was like, okay, there's a thing called Xanax. Xanax is so freaking powerful, bro. You know what I'm saying? Xanax, Vicodin. Then I was mixing alcohol and pills. Then next thing you know, I started to like mess with cocaine. And then there was crack a few times. Like, I'm not ashamed to say, like, I'm gonna put it out there and say, like, I know, like, it's like taboo to talk about.
No,
it.
it's not.
You know what I'm saying?
It's fucking not.
Right. So
maybe,
like,
you know, I think that's a problem with this community that no one talks about it enough.
Right.
No, so please.
No, like, yeah, no.
Spotlight's yours, literally.
Yeah, for real. So like, those drugs, and it came to a point in my life where I needed drugs. The first thing I thought about when I got up was drugs. The last thing I thought about when I went to sleep was drugs. Every single moment of my life was thinking about, when am I going to get high? What's my next high? I mean, that was it, bro. That's the life of an addict. You know what I'm saying? Nothing matters. I seen my school was failing. I didn't care. Family relationships were getting bad. I didn't care. Work was getting bad. I didn't care. I'm like, okay, as long as I get high, everything will be better. And that's the life of an addict.
If you don't mind me asking, how'd you fund your addiction?
So pretty much I was working at my dad's pizza place, and I was making deliveries, you know what I'm saying? And I was getting, at that time, before I was like that, you can get $5 bags, $10 bags, and I was getting it from there. And in Detroit, you can pretty much get anything, you know what I'm saying? We had this cook who, you know, was getting prescribed Xanax, prescribed Vicodin. Like, it was his prescription, and he was hooking me up with it. You know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of like, and you know, working in Detroit like that, like, you can just get anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how it was pretty much.
Quick, did your dad have any sense of what was going on?
Oh, man. So I was really slick about it, but it's like once you start becoming, like, you know, you were getting addicted, you started sluggish and started moving. Like, he was noticing some signs until he found one day weed on me. And, man, he beat the shit out of me, bro. Oh, my God. It was like, how can my son be smoking? How can he be doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like, he had his suspicion, but then he found it. Then from that point on, he was searching my car, you know what I'm saying? Like, searching me, things like that, just trying to stop it. But each time I was trying to get more slicker and slicker and slicker, you know what I'm saying? But he would catch it. Like, he didn't know what to do. He didn't think I'm send him to rehab, or, you know, he didn't know what to do.
So all right. So I'm assuming your dad's old school boat. Like, came from
yeah,
he's that type of guy. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me tell you this. So if he sat you down, real shit. So if he sat you down and he's like, hey, Khalil, this is that. I don't want you to do this. Let's find help. This is that. At that state of mind, would you logically have been like, okay, let's get on the right path? Or would you be like, no, like, wash your ass?
No.
What would you have done?
Honestly, I felt like I had it under control, but it wasn't that at all. I'm like, I could stop this anytime. I'm good. I could stop this anytime. Okay, start tomorrow. No, on my time. You know what I'm saying? So no, it was bad. Like, I didn't want nothing.
No way.
Nothing, no.
Regardless of what he did, it was never gonna affect it.
No. Like, he tried. Like, he was not letting me drive. He was like just taking my, like, just things that he can do to try to, like, there was no way. Like, bro, I walked miles one time to go get some drugs. Miles. You know what I'm saying? There was no stopping.
When you were in prison, when you first went in, were you still an addict?
I was getting off of it. That was probably the hardest moment of my life.
I was gonna ask, did you go through withdrawal in prison?
Very bad, you know. But when I first got locked up, because my case on the news, they had me in solitary confinement. So I was trying to get over it in solitary confinement. It was the worst experience. I wanted to kill myself. I literally, like that, on top of what they were saying about terrorism, I literally wrote a suicide note. And I said, okay, like, I really wrote a note, and I said, okay, you know, saying my farewells, and I tried to kill myself in my cell. It was bad.
What'd you do, if you don't mind me asking? What was the method?
So pretty much, like, what they did was, this one porter was able to give me a trash bag. So I pretty much had a trash bag. I tried tying it on my cell, and I was literally trying it, bro. I had the trash bag. It wouldn't work. It wasn't tight. I was like, man, like, it's not working. And I had my suicide note with me. You know what I'm saying? I just had it right there on my bench. So, like, when they come and find me, like, hey, just give this to my... It didn't work. It didn't work.
How long did it take you to go over the withdrawal, man? Like, what was the word? I know, because I know you do it. Like, again, I'm not an expert, but like, from, you know, because I told you there are a few addicts that I know that are actually, you know, pretty close to home. Is it like, what's the worst of it? Is it like the fucking night sweats? Is it the suicidal thoughts? What was the hardest part for you?
You know, you felt like you were getting eaten on the inside. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of had like this, like, it was like a carrot in front of you, and you were trying to grab it, and it was like irking you. The anxiety, the sweats, the throwing up. You know what I'm saying? Just all. It was just all, like, I literally just wanted, like, I felt like I was like turned inside out my body.
You weren't able to get it in prison?
So there were a few instances where I could have gotten high, where I could have smoked. I told myself, man, and it's gonna sound weird, but like, I got closer to, you know, Islam mostly in prison. I was like, man, I didn't do it though. I didn't. I could have. I seen a lot of people getting high. There were people doing all type of stuff, but I didn't do it. I swear by Allah, I did not do it.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you grew up in a religious household, or
somewhat. I mean, my dad would try, like, hey, fast in the month of Ramadan, pray, you know, you're Muslims, you're Arab, this, that, and the third. But it was just kind of a situation, like, when I got into the ISIS shit, like, I didn't even know what the 5 pillars of Islam. I didn't even know how to pray. Like, even the Fatiha, I was like butchering it. You know what I'm saying? But here I am, don't know nothing about Islam, but I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my mind, like, okay, let's go do jihad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just backwards, bro. It was really.
That is crazy. Think about it. He wasn't that religious, but ISIS is such an extreme religious.
Yeah,
group.
and that's what a lot of those supporters
got his ass. Like, think about the people behind the
Yeah,
counter.
yeah,
That's
for
just
real.
so tragic.
Just grow your
bro.
beard. You grow your beard. You know what I'm saying? You look religious. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And
my
a lot of
God.
those ISIS supporters, they were like, they had nothing. They didn't know nothing about Islam, because if you did, you knew that Islam does not stand for any of the stuff that they said. You know?
Peace.
So when you got out, obviously your story, it circulated a lot. It got a lot of attention, like nationally. What was, did any big, journalists reach out to you? Any major, networks, try to have you tell your story?
So since I've been out like on some podcasts and things like that, just kind of like, I have a documentary out. It's called The Gravel Institute. That's the name of it.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's the FBI catfish, like the FBI catfish. It's like 40 minutes long.
Oh, it's specifically on you?
Yeah.
I watched like 30
Oh,
minutes.
shit.
Yeah.
Almost,
Who brought it out? Who
The Gravel Institute are more of like a left, like a more of a Democrat leaning. You know what I'm saying? It's on there. It's 40 minutes long. They followed me around for like 3 days with the camera and just like talking to me,
Wow.
which was cool, Been on some podcasts, did some stuff like that, more for my like social media, like prison reform stuff. I did have Fox News. Fox News reached out to me.
Saying what?
Jesse Water. I don't know if you guys know the host, Jesse Water. He's the guy's like, he's one of those Tucker Carlson guys. Loves to stir the pot. He's like, hey, they try to use my story as a political pawn piece of what happened in January 6th. They're saying that the FBI is knowing to use, manipulate, and put informant. They're trying to like link my case like, hey, we're not racist. We got this Arab Muslim here. The FBI set him up. So the FBI set up these January 6th guys. I said, no, I'm not going to be your
pawn.
Yeah, I'm not. No. I'm not going to do that. Yeah.
So as of now, the government still thinks you were a part of all that stuff.
I think so. I mean, I really do for a fact. I know that, I'm still being watched. I'm still being monitored. I feel like the FBI, they know everything. I feel like they knew that there was no plan per se, but it's just like, damn, they put so much out there, and so much out there was in the media. They have to do something. So like sometimes I feel like they're just waiting on the opportune moment for me to slip, which will never happen, never happen.
No,
Very interesting.
Do you have? I'm assuming you have trust issues at this point with like everything.
It took me a while to kind of like settle down a little bit. When I got out, I thought I was being followed, and I had to go to therapy for it. Even till today, I'm still see a therapist for like mental health stuff, which I'm not. If you're not okay, say something. Talk to somebody or go reach professional help. You should do that. It was kind of hard for me. My dad, I mean, his intentions were right. He made it seem like he wanted me like to live under a rock. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's a Fed. Somebody talk to you, Arab dude talk to you is a Fed. Somebody says, Assalamu alaikum is a Fed. Don't go to the masajid. Don't go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Is a Fed. Everybody was a Fed. It's like, man, I'm not going to live my life under a rock like this. And that's what, for example, the FBI would want. For me to live this way. And I'm refusing to live this way, So it took some time, so it's getting better.
You're actually doing, you're on,
You're just living your life, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
You're very big, and you're on everyone's algorithm, because I sent your profile. I was like, hey, this guy's coming on, and then everyone's like, oh, yeah, I've seen him. I watch his videos. Mehdi's like, I watch his videos every day.
Best feeling is like when I'm in the Dearborn area and getting record, like, you're that guy from TikTok, right? I'm like, yeah, that's me. Best feeling ever. I swear. It's because what you're putting out there, people are watching it and seeing it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. So, I mean, do you have any goals in the near future? What do you want to do?
So I'm majoring in sociology. I'm planning short term to either become a prison counselor for my sociology degree. Hopefully get into the paralegal. What I really want to do, inshallah, is to get into the legal field. I know it's still a while, it's still a stretch, but hopefully I kind of want to do what is that
Defense?
you do. Yeah.
It's nice, man.
Yeah, man.
Because it's very rewarding.
Yeah, it's like I really do have a passion for our legal system, real big passion for that. Hopefully, man. So hopefully.
That'd be a nice story.
Yeah.
It's a nice story. I'm telling you. Anything you need, bro, you let me know.
Thank you.
That's a nice story. Think about a lawyer that got screwed. And then comes back and helps
there was
the
a
screwed.
guy, I'm not going to mention his name. I went to law school with him. Prior to him getting into law school, so he used to be a crack addict as well as a crack dealer. And he got caught. He went in front of a judge. This guy made Good Morning America. He went in front of a judge. The judge didn't put him in prison, even though he should have. Oh, wow. He didn't put him in prison. He gave him a chance. And this guy ended up graduating law school with me. He was in my class. He ended up graduating law school with me. And now that same judge that nearly sentenced him like that nearly sentenced him to prison 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, however long it was the same judge that swore him in to practice law.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's
Wow.
cool. It's a cool story. It's a
Yeah.
really cool story.
Do you have any bad habits that you still have from prison?
Sometimes it took me a while to be kind of. I mean, I noticed sometimes I feel like when. How should I feel like there's like this prison culture. Like when I walk by somebody, I say excuse me. People get too close, or like sometimes people do things. I'm like this guy thinks I'm a bitch or something. You know what I'm saying? I should. I gotta. You know what I'm saying? So, like stuff like that. So some of the other things has improved. A little bit as well, but it's really kind of little like as far as mannerisms out here, it's kind of like, man, like in prison, when you're walking close to somebody, you'll be like, hey, excuse me, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna walk by you or I'm gonna reach over you, you kind of let it be known. Like over here, people are all ready to bump you and push you. And, I'm like, man, is this guy trying me? Like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? But I have to take my mind and be like, okay, I'm not in prison anymore. Calm down. So things like that.
How long did it take you to adapt to like modern society when you got out?
I want to say it's about like a year and a half to be like, okay,
so like you're still fresh to it.
Yeah, like kind of stuff. I've been out for like 2.5, close to 2.5 years right now. You know what I'm saying? So it took me a while. It took me a lot of counseling. It took me a lot of like kind of just like trying to readapt to things, man. Because I mean, PTSD post prison is very real, bro. To this day, like I said, I still get nightmares, like being back in prison or something happened. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it takes some time.
Crazy, bro. It's crazy, man. It's just, I just can't believe it. At the end of the day, it was, long story short, the way I look at this just from a legal standpoint, all this was over a form.
Yeah.
That's what started all of this.
Yeah.
It was just a form to buy a gun.
Yeah.
That led to 4 years in Club Fed.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You said that, so what was your original sentence period?
So my guidelines, they have like guidelines.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, 10 to 15 months.
10 to 15 months.
That's it. If that.
Yeah.
As a first-time offender, because this is my first case. The prosecutor was like, he didn't want to put a cap on it. Meaning, yeah, it starts off at 10 to 15 months, but his charge carries up to like 10 years.
Yeah, so we're going to leave it to the judge.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was like, okay, they put a sentencing memorandum. They wanted 96 months.
Yeah.
The feds go by months.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
8
I'm saying?
years. Yeah.
He wanted to give me 8 years.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my God. My lawyer was like, okay, let's give him 10 months. The prosecutor was like, give him 96 months. The judge got up there and was like, well, we got to split it down to half. Give him 60 months.
So you ended up doing what? So you were paroled after 4?
After 46 months, I did, and now I'm on probation for it. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Look, you should have been a part of this case.
Bro, I'm just like,
Yeah.
this doesn't make sense, man. It really doesn't make sense.
You want to talk about that thing that just happened?
Which thing?
Your most recent post.
Okay.
People are all talking about it, and someone's like,
I didn't see it.
Adnan Sayed.
Adnan Sayed,
Yeah,
the more in depth of the
yeah.
Adnan Sayed
Talk to me.
case.
What is it?
I'm not.
So
know
he
what
was
it is.
out of Baltimore. He was 17,
Baltimore case.
18-year-old kid. He was charged with killing his ex-girlfriend. Muslim kid. I don't know if he was Arab or I don't know what. But anyway.
Adnan Sayed. Hold on. I've heard this story. This is a very well-known
Yeah,
guy.
very well
People
known,
are sending it everywhere now.
Yeah.
This guy was on Netflix.
Yeah, they made it.
He was the one. Yeah. I do remember.
They made the serial podcast on this guy. You know what I'm saying? But anyway,
Yup.
After he's been in prison for like more than 25 years. The prosecution finally made a motion yesterday saying that his murder conviction should be vacated because of newly found evidence that points to 2 other people with the case, not even Adnan Sayed.
Hold on, slow it down. I'm sorry. I have no idea what they want.
Okay. So hear me out. Okay, so this guy Adnan Sayed.
Okay.
20 years ago.
Okay.
This person, I believe he's from. Is it Bangladesh, India? Where's he from?
Yeah, I think around. Yeah.
Yeah. So this person was. I think he was wrongfully accused of murdering his ex-girlfriend.
20 years ago.
Yes, it was a while back.
He was 16.
He was
High school,
16 or 17. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so he's been in jail all this time, and he had a lot of supporters pushing for his release or pushing to reopen the case.
They made a documentary on him?
Yeah, there's a legit. You can. I believe it's on Netflix.
It's on Hulu. I think it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Hulu.
And so you said that now the prosecutors they motioned to vacate the case because of newly discovered evidence.
Yeah, that points
So they
to
throw
2
it out?
other people. Yeah, they're going to throw it out. They're going to give him a personal recognizance bond. The prosecutors were like, well, he's not cleared from the case. We're still investigating. But of course, the prosecution never going to be like, yeah, we fudged up this case.
Yeah. I mean, what they're going to end up doing is he's going to get usually what they do in this situation, they give him a PR bond, right? And then he gets a retrial based on the newly found evidence where he'd likely be acquitted.
Right.
However, you're not going to acquit the guy 20 years of his life, and
I'd pay him fat. Release him.
Show me the money. Where's it going to come from? Where the fuck's it going to
They
pay?
did
Hold
it
on.
so wrong.
So he just they sentenced him to life. Or is life 25
yeah.
years? Is life 25 years or life?
No. So a life sentence is considered 25 years.
Depending on the state, right?
No,
or
just in general. This is in general.
Okay.
But he didn't get 25 years. He's been in jail for that long. I believe it's been 20 to 25 years.
So he's about to get released.
He's not about to get released.
They gave him no parole.
Yeah, they gave him no parole.
Got you.
Life without parole, meaning he can never get released.
Right.
Yeah, so murder is murder. I believe murder is one of the few crimes you can commit that they're legally allowed not to give you parole on.
So
Meaning you'll never see the the outside of a cell.
So you're telling me this guy just woke up and like, oh, there's a documentary on me and I'm about to get released?
Bro, this guy went into jail when there was fucking flip phones. He's coming out when there's iPhones. Yeah. Put it that way.
Imagine readapting to that, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. This guy went into jail when Facebook didn't exist. Yeah. And now he's coming out and there's something called Instagram.
So he's getting released or are they opening the case again?
No. They're going to give him a PR bond, meaning that he's allowed out of jail.
Oh my
he's
God.
allowed to walk, but the case is still pending. So what happens in the situation is they can't just throw the case in the garbage. So because there was a trial, the only way to reopen the case and give him a new trial is by newly discovered evidence. Evidence that is strong enough that would urge a judge to reopen the matter and reset it for a new trial.
What started this? And random lawyers like, let's open this back up?
They had like defense attorneys trying to push it. They were trying to push for like new DNA testing. Like DNA testing back then is not the same as it was here, you know? So that's what they were pushing. And then from that, it was able to find that, okay, it's not Adnan's DNA. It was somebody else.
From the documentary.
The documentary brought issues to it, you know, but he had like a whole legal team trying to...
You watched Making a Murderer, right?
Is it like that Brendan Dassity case?
Same idea. Like
that shit's crazy.
But the crazy thing with that
wild.
One... Yeah, but that one...
How is that still happening? How did this guy get framed? Okay, what is it, 18 years he went to jail? Oh, this guy's innocent. He gets back out of jail, and then they frame him again, and they throw him back in jail? What logic is that?
It's crazy. It's
and they made 2 documentaries, 2 full seasons. Making a Murder, they got him on Making a Murder part season 2. I'm like, how's there a season 2? Bro, the second season was pretty cool because a badass lawyer stepped in and was like, all right, let's get this shit on the road.
Yeah, she was a woman.
Well, yeah, the girl. You watched it, right?
I watched it.
Okay.
I just forgot her name. I know 2 of the... I know Jerry Strang from the first one, and then there's another guy. So at the time...
were these legit lawyers back in the day, or are they not monster lawyers?
No, bro. These guys were the best defense attorneys in Wisconsin.
And they picked up the case.
No, they didn't. He paid them. Well, do you remember? Okay, let me remind you what happened. Okay, so just to give you a background. So do you remember how he was framed the first time and he got out?
Yeah, 18 years later, right?
Right. Then they framed him again. He went back in. You remember? Okay, so just put that part in the back of your head. While he was in jail, he was settling the lawsuit with the state of Wisconsin for framing him on the first one.
Okay, so he was trying to get money back.
He was trying to get money back, but because he could have got millions, but because they knew he needed to hire an attorney, they gave him a bullshit offer that he was forced to take so he can hire a legal team to fight the new case. God. He ended up settling for like $118,000, something like that. He took that money and
paid out the lawyer.
Yep, and he paid the new the 2 new Wisconsin attorneys, which the discoveries they found were fucking unbelievable.
He's still in jail.
Shit out of a movie, bro. Like, and what's crazy is when season 2 came out, you only realize that those 2 attorneys they didn't fucking hit the tip of the iceberg. Like, they were able to find in that first season that the fucking blood that was found in the car that was found was like, it was off of a fucking lab test that was taken from his first case and it was tampered with. All right. So there was at least reasonable doubt to that being the actual, his blood at that time.
It has to be rigged through the system. The judge had...
Right. But, like, it's just fucked up. And if you saw the Brandon Dassey confession tape, I don't know if you remember that.
I remember. I haven't watched it in a while.
The guy's mentally ill.
Yeah,
okay?
They took advantage
the guy's mentally ill. He really is. He's like, there's something wrong with him, bro. Like, the fucking guy doesn't know how to read. Okay? And, like, 2 fucking cocksuckers just they sit him down in an interrogation room, and they pretty much, like, pressure him to confess. And it was a bullshit.
I remember watching that. I was getting pissed. What are you doing?
Yeah. It was like a forced confession. I'm like, bro, is everybody in the state of Wisconsin just fucking dumb? Like, are you not? We're not seeing the same thing.
It was obvious it was a setup, and they're covering up for someone.
Right, it's crazy. And then what's even crazier is
second time,
bro. No, it's not the second time. So like, what you're talking about, season 2, it's still him in jail. It's just another attorney picked up the case.
It's gone, right? He's still in jail.
No, he got fucked because it was like a federal judge that denied his writ, not allowing him to have a retrial.
Why?
She's a dumb bitch. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know why.
It has to be covering up for something.
Maybe, but like it was like everyone gave her heat. Like, I can't believe you turned this down. Like, because it was supposed to be like the majority of people, even judges, they approved him to get a retrial. She didn't want him to, so she turned it down. I don't know. Go figure, man.
Money, I'm telling you.
Probably. Who knows, man? State of Wisconsin, man.
It's like the system is stacked so against you when you catch a case, man.
It's bad. No, Kel, he ain't lying, bro. Like, a lot of the people I defend, man, like, a lot of them, I swear to God, they'll be first-time offenders. And they treat them as if these guys are hardened criminals that have just a history of committing. Bro, I had a fucking kid. He was 17 years old, okay? Yeah. There was a place that was broken into, okay? He happened to be at that location. He didn't go in. The video camera shows, like the evidence shows he was never inside of this location. It just shows him on the outside walking in the street. By the time the cops showed up, like, you know, to the property, everyone had scattered except for this kid.
I remember this.
Okay, and they fucking arrested the kid, and they charged him with the fucking robbery of this place, and with the breaking and entering and all this shit. And the kid was like, dude, like, I'm here. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. He's like, I was just at the location. Like, I wasn't in there. I don't know who's in there.
So stuff like that is like they wanna find that one person and just destroy him and use him as an example.
It's not that. It's everyone needs a bad guy. And unfortunately, on the federal level, when you invest, bro, these are taxpayer dollars. You know what I'm saying? People's jobs are on the line if you were to botch a case like Khalil's. A lot of jobs are on the line. A lot of people that are not supposed to get fired will get fired.
Would you take on a case? Okay, let's say example like let's say he can't afford you, right? Would you ever do one out of
pro bono? It's called pro bono.
When you're doing out of the
I've done them before.
So what is exactly the pro bono?
A pro bono case, just for people that don't know, a pro bono case is a case that's taken on for free. No legal work, you front everything out of pocket.
Just to like just stunt the government.
It's not about the government. It's about the people who you're dealing with. I've done in my legal career, I've done only 2 cases pro bono. Okay, one of them was a young girl who was going to go to prison for 5 years. She was 16. And one of them was a teenage boy who had a vehicle that was his brother's. He took the car, got into a car accident. It wasn't his fault. And he ended up, the accident, the person he hit, they had a passenger in the car that became a paraplegic.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so they tried to charge the kid with manslaughter.
So does someone offer you these cases and you're like, I'll take them? Or did someone refer them like, hey?
No, a call. And then, so.
A favor.
Yeah, so the second one, the one with the car accident, it started out as pro bono, and then his family ended up retaining me and somebody else to help with the case. This was one of my first criminal cases.
Okay, so you're still okay.
Yeah, and there was actually one more. Actually, my first case ever was a pro bono case, and I did it just because it was a cool case. The family literally was broke, and it was a kid who was, I think I told you, it was a 14-year-old kid. Who was charged with armed robbery.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
I represented a 14-year-old kid that was charged with armed robbery with a knife. We ended up getting him probation. Okay. It was really cool. And he ended up, it was so funny. Like, the best part about that case was when they arrested him, they called a tow truck to impound his bike. Like a bicycle. It wasn't a moped, bro. It was a fucking bicycle.
Wasting our money on her here, huh?
Imagine calling a fucking tow truck and seeing a bicycle on it. I was fucking dying, bro. It was a funny shit in the world because it wouldn't fit in the cop's trunk. So we had to call a tow and just put it on the truck and they had to tie it up. It was the funniest shit in the world.
See, like majority, I don't mean to cut you out. Like a lot of guys when they catch cases, and there's no shade at all to public defenders and all that.
No, I'm telling you, I do public defense.
Yeah, but the thing is like you guys for the most, like you guys are like booked, man. You guys have cases. Like when my attorney seen me, he's like, okay, I'll see you later. He's going to meet another 5 or 6 guys in this same jail, bro. So it's like, okay, a lot of these public defenders, like, okay, just plead guilty, just plead guilty, just plead guilty. You know, so they can clear their books and just have, you know what I'm saying? Like have more people come. Like that's what I mean. It's stacked against you, man.
Yeah, man, it's tough. You see, here's the thing. The thing with appointed work, I can't blame, I blame the attorneys for doing a shit job because you have the option to take appointed work. You're not forced to do it. It's either you sign up for it or you don't. But I don't mean to throw shade at anybody, but if I was to blame one, I mean, if there was a person who was to be at fault, let's just say there had to be an at-fault party, I'd put it on the state. Because the state, they just don't pay appointed attorneys enough money. No. Bro, like with any case, okay, let's say you do like an armed robbery case or you do a, I'm sorry, not an armed robbery, say you do like, like a basic drug case or a basic, felony firearm CCW case. I swear to God, you know what the state is going to pay you? The most you'll make on that case? You'll put in over 30 hours of work. I shit you not. They'll pay you maybe $600-700. What? It's tragic, bro.
So
yeah.
For his lawyer, how long was the case? How long was the case for you? How long, process of it?
Well, don't get me wrong. Federal appointed attorneys make more money, but it's not as much as you think. Like, it's nowhere near like bro, these guys aren't making like 10 grand. You dream on.
Right. Even when you plead guilty, you still have to wait like 4 months. The whole process was like almost a year.
Yeah, it takes a minute because you plead guilty, then you have to wait to be sentenced.
Yeah.
So are you anti-government or anti-something? Like, are you just salty at the world when you come out? When you came out?
When I came out, I was falling into the bitterness of being hateful. Like, okay, this is what they did to me. Like, as far as like people, like, why should I care for anybody? Why should I have respect for anybody? You know, it was kind of a situation. I was very, very bitter. I was like, you know what? I took a step back. I was like, this is what they want me to be. This is what they want. I'm refusing to be either become another statistic or just be this just angry person for no reason. What happened, what happened. At the end of the day, man, like, we can not be religious or religious. And everything happens for a reason in this world, man. And you know what? The situation that happened to me, I was able to come out. I was able to go back to school, turn my life around. I'm sitting with you guys because of the situation. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of opportunities that, yes, it was messed up what happened. But at the end of the day, sometimes what things is bad for us is end up being good for us, bro. Like, I'm back in school full time. I'm pulling 4.0 GPAs. You know what I'm saying? Like, course, I'm on social media now. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, there's a lot of good that came out of it. So at that moment, yeah, it was messed up and it was unfortunate, but it was just like it sounds cliche, but like it saved me, bro. Like, it's either I was gonna die from a drug overdose or something, or I was gonna go to prison. You know, and I went to prison instead.
So if you can go back and switch your life around or go through everything you went through to get where you're at right now, what would you do? If you go back to, example, freshman year before you picked up your first blunt, or now, what would you do?
Like, you mean like not pick up the drugs?
Let's say you can go and like literally like, yeah, switch where you didn't touch drugs from freshman year, or go where you're at right now, your mindset.
Honestly, it's gonna sound weird, bro. It's like I would choose the same route that I.
That's what a lot of people do, like Miss Hoskins.
Same route too, yeah, same route.
I don't agree with. No, obviously it's you as you. But like, if I can go back, to, people are like, oh, I am the person I am now because of my past experiences. Like, there's certain things where I wish I never went through. Just, I mean, like, my life would have been less stressful if I didn't go through, example, something I didn't go back in the day.
Yeah, but let me ask you this: do you think you'd be the same person you are today?
That's a question. I don't know. It's a risk. That's a butterfly effect. You don't know.
I was like that too. I was like, man, if only it eats you, bro. It eats you. I was like, I can't. You have to learn.
But I do come from the mindset of everything happens for a reason.
For sure.
Everything's in God's hand. In my opinion, that's the only way. No, that's the only like way I look at it. Look through stuff now. Look at stuff now. But there's certain things that are like, man, did I really need to go through that?
Khalil, when do you finish your degree?
Very soon.
Okay, good. Yeah. So, like, how soon do you plan on applying to law school if you wanted to do that?
As soon as possible.
Really?
I already know, like, for me, being a felon is a situation where, like, I talked to a few lawyers. They're talking about you got to get a lawyer, you got to go see the bar, you got to do, like, a character, like, hey, what you been up to?
I'm going to explain the process to you. It's not impossible. It's not as hard as you think it is either.
Right.
So, getting into law school is not going to be the hard part, so to say. It's going to be getting licensed to practice law.
Okay.
There's something called character and fitness.
Right.
So there are two parts to being licensed as an attorney in pretty much any state. There is the bar exam, right? You got to pass the bar exam. And two, you got to pass something called character and fitness. Character and fitness, it's a committee of attorneys that will sit down and they'll look at your history and your file. And in their opinion, they will see if you are fit enough to practice law.
After passing the bar?
After passing the bar. No, it's a part of passing the bar is not enough. You need to pass the bar. You know how many people I know that have passed the bar and they're not attorneys because they cannot pass character and fitness?
Really?
I thought that was getting into law school.
No.
The character and fitness thing.
No. Character and fitness is practicing law. Okay, so put it this way. To get into law school, you need a few things. You need, for most schools are going to require a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
And a certain GPA. They're going to require a certain score on the LSAT, the law school admissions test. They're going to require a personal statement, and obviously they're going to see your criminal history.
Right.
Your criminal history is not going to set you back from getting into law school as much as it would from getting you your license to practice law. Okay. I know a lot of, for example, that guy that I told you about that practiced law in front of the judge that almost sentenced him, he applied to law school with 2 felonies on his record, dealing in manufacturing cocaine and possession of cocaine, and he got into law school. Right? So getting into law school is not going to be the problem. I would even call it a problem. I'll call it a challenge. It's the character and fitness committee. So I'm going to give you my personal history with character and fitness, okay? When I was when I was 17 years old, It was during the 2000 and I want to say the 2010 FIFA World Cup. Okay. For some reason, I don't know why everyone just got the urge to play soccer that summer. All right. So me and like 15 guys, we decided to go to Fortson High School. And this is in the middle of summer, and we decided to hop the fence and play soccer. One of the guys that was there decided to whip out his junk and take a piss, on the side. And one of the neighbors across the street saw this and called the cops. Yeah. He said, hey, listen, there are people on the field, there are people pissing, throwing garbage, all this stuff. The own police show up. They're like, hey, listen, before the original cop that showed up was very nice to us. He was like, listen, I know you guys are trespassing. I know you had to hop the fence to get here. I'm giving you the chance to get the fuck out of here. If my sergeant gets here, he's on his way, and he sees you here, you're all getting tickets. I'm giving you a chance to run so I can let him know most of the kids cleared out. There's nothing here.
Right.
In the process of hopping the fence, the sergeant pulled up.
Oh.
Stood us all on the fence, and he gave us all tickets. One by one, we all got trespassing tickets, okay? I ended up doing probation, HIDA, the whole nine. Ended up getting dismissed off my record, okay? When I applied to law school, at the time, I was under the impression that if you got this specific thing on your record and it was like expunged or dismissed, you don't have to report it on a law school application. So when I applied to law school, I never put it on my application. They asked me, have you ever been charged with a felony or a misdemeanor? If yes, please say so and explain what happened, blah, blah, blah. I just put no. Okay? We go into orientation. One of the deans at Detroit Mercy Law comes out and she was like, hey, just giving you, and I bless her to this day because I'm going to tell you why, how important this, the reason I'm giving you the backstory is because how important it was leading up to character and fitness.
Right.
Just show you how fucking annoying they are, okay? She comes up, she's like, hey, listen, I know some of you guys, I'm not going to say who, might have, certain crimes that have been expunged, have been dismissed, you did probation on, they're gone. I need you to email me if you put no on your application. I need to update it for character and fitness. You'll know why later.
She looked out heavy. That
night, I was like, should I fucking tell her? Fuck it, I'll email her. I was like, hey, Dean, blah, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. She responds to me, she said, okay, no worries. Do you have proof that it was dismissed? I'm like, I can get it, but I don't have it on me. She's like, okay, don't worry at all. I'll update your application. She forgets to update my application. Okay? I take the bar exam. 3 years later, I pass the bar exam. Character Fitness sends me an email saying, hey, we reviewed your application. We ran a criminal history
check,
yeah, we ran a fucking criminal history report on you. And we see that you were charged with a misdemeanor in 2010. You reported on your law school application that you were not charged with a misdemeanor whatsoever. This is a lie. You have 24 hours to show us either one, that you actually did report to the school, that you weren't lying and that you actually did, receive this misdemeanor, or two, that we're full of shit and there's a mistake. If you can't show us one or the other in 24 hours, we're not going to approve you to practice law in the state of Michigan.
What if the dean said, I remember? You had the email, didn't you?
I had the email. What I did was I emailed the dean. I forwarded her the email from this guy. And I was like, Dean, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. She's like, oh, my God, I forgot to do it, blah, blah, blah. And thank God I get a letter 2 weeks later saying you're good to go. But this is how nitpicky they are over something that got dismissed. So you can only imagine something to your level how they're going to be. So when people say you need to get an attorney, it's not because you're going to get denied. You need to get an attorney because the only way for you to get in is for somebody to argue on your behalf. You're going to have to show that, hey, I went to law school because of my experience. I need to be an attorney because I need to prevent people from getting into this kind of trouble.
So for his case, like he writes down, obviously, like if he writes down everything and they let them know before, is that going to be a problem?
But do you write uncharged conduct?
But here's the thing. Like I said, your issue is not going to be reporting it. Your issue is going to be them knowing about it and you still convincing them that contrary to you dealing with this, you should still be allowed. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. In my opinion, bro, if I'm an attorney sitting on that committee,
I'd respect him.
This is the person I want to be an attorney.
It's a movie. Know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, it's a movie script.
It's not even, this is the person I'd want to practice law. This is the person that's going to be motivated to actually help others. Unfortunately, they don't look at it like that. No. Because practicing law is looked at as a privilege.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, we'll see. In a sense, I feel like this character and fitness thing, it's more of a situation, like he said, to kind of like presenting it out there. And the more time passes, I feel like that's good as well. Kind of like separate yourself from the felony or from the prison time that you did. And at the end of the day, it's in God's hands, man. I'm gonna try. That's the most I can do. Try my hardest.
Listen, man, when you're ready to take that step, you just give me a call.
For sure.
For real. Yeah. I'm like so serious about it.
Okay.
I'll really help you.
For sure. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Yeah.
No, this episode's been amazing. Like a lot of information. Any other topics you want to touch on before we get to stepping?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as mental health goes, guys, I just want your viewers to know that it's okay to not be okay. That reach out to somebody that you can trust. Go get professional help. a lot of times, and especially like with drugs and stuff, it's like a domino effect. It's gonna lead to something, you know, to go get help if you're not okay, just period.
So that's something that, all right, 2016, I would say like the not trend, because it's not, mental health, anxiety, depression, all that stuff has been, it's not right to say, but it's been going up and booming in a way in the last couple of years. It's been promoted to help the cause in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Getting a therapist, doing all that stuff.
Yeah, like mental health awareness has gone up.
Exactly. It's gone up like crazy. So when you went in, it was on the rise, but when you came out, it was very high. Like social media, it's one thing that's actually beneficial is the fact that they're pushing mental health awareness, but I think social media is causing more depression, anxiety, and all that stuff, like I always say.
From experience, yeah, like sometimes like I try to post every day, you know what I'm saying, on different social media. Now I'm going to like Instagram and YouTube, like it does get like sometimes it does wear on your mental health. There's times where I literally have to put my phone down, like, okay, take a break, you know what I'm saying, because people's comments, or I mean, as far as a creator, like putting content out there's a lot of pressure, you know what I'm saying? So that you're right about that one, at least it can cause it.
No, yeah, any comments that just made you laugh or like, come on, what are you doing?
I mean, more of like, hey, go back to prison, or you're a terrorist. You know what I'm saying? You should have did more time. The halal police. You know what I'm saying?
The halal police.
Yeah, like that. You know, it's just
the haram police.
The haram police. I'm sorry. You just learn how to kind of, if you're gonna put content out there, you know that you're gonna get all different types of comments.
Like I was telling him, I was expecting us to get torched on the City of Dearborn post. I was expecting people just to shred us. Everything was positive. Supposedly.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I was expecting for us to get lit up, bro.
Why?
Because if you see the comments we have on some of our YouTube videos,
it's just funny.
You'll understand.
The thing is, we have thick enough skin where if we had enough negative, funny comments, I would have read them online and it would have been funny, right?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It's just like you expect negativity, and we didn't get it.
At least not on that post. But I mean, we still get a lot of bad vibes on our YouTube comments.
Like, I had a friend message me, and he screenshotted it and sent it to me. She's probably not gonna watch it. She messaged him, and she's like, "Oh Lord, thank God I just heard of this now. This is that," and she was bashing us, and I'm like, "That's the first negative thing I heard today."
Yeah, I mean that's
not bad.
That's not that bad compared to like the other shit we see on our YouTube comments. Like they're
YouTube is ruthless, bro. I started posting on YouTube now. They're ruthless.
No, they're assholes. They're just
assholes. My gosh.
Like somebody, I don't mind. It's just funny. Like somebody says, "Oh, like, you know, why is there a bunch of uneducated people talking about this specific topic?" Like, I'm just like, dude, it's like it's an opinion based podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry we're not smart enough for you.
Who's telling you to watch this?
Right. Like, oh my God. Like, I'm so sorry I put you through this torture.
Some guys, like, it's a tough listen. I counted, I'm like, I hope you finished it. Or something like that. I hope you feel better.
Yeah, like, I just don't, I don't get why that's necessary to say, dude. It's like, okay, imagine you directed a movie, okay? I didn't enjoy the movie. Like, why the fuck would I make it my mission to reach out to you and say, hey, your movie sucks ass? Like, why? Who does that, bro? Like, get a life. Really get a life.
You just have to let it be known, you know?
Yeah, like, I mean, I get it's fine. You know, maybe it's a tough listen to you, but, like, you really, like, are you that, like, do you have that much time on your hands? Like, you know, like, do you really feel so much better by putting people down? Like, it's tragic.
I'll get at that 1 second. Some girl posted, she's like, man, this post made me sick, and I commented, I'm like, inshallah you feel better. She deleted it. No, well, like, listen, we're not here to please everyone. We're expecting people not to like us, but we're not begging you guys to come watch it. We're just doing a thing that it's a hobby for us. We're having a fun time. Alhamdulillah, it's been getting bigger and bigger.
It's good.
You know what I mean? It's going good. But for you to just shit on us for no reason, why? Like, what are we doing to you guys? We're what? We're me and Melissa are pretty like.
We're pretty mellowed out.
Yeah, really chill. You know what I noticed is that people, like, when they put that, it's a representation of themselves.
100%.
That's really what it is. And that's what I really learned. Like, you know what? You might need a hug today or something. Like, you're dealing with something. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, what's the point of, like, why? Like, all right, if you don't like us, okay, but don't spread it. Like, I don't know. Don't spread negativity.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just not used to just, like, bro. Imagine, like, you went to, like, you know, like a friend's barbecue and, like, you just didn't like the way the food tasted.
Yeah, but you'd roast them.
Yeah, but it's like a close friend, like, not in a joking way. Like, imagine you went to, like, somebody that's not close, you know? Like, somebody that's, like, normal. You know, you got invited to, like, you know, your boss's dinner or something.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, you didn't like the salad. Like, imagine, hey, it tastes like fucking shit.
Yeah, it's so rude.
Like, yeah,
you know what it is? It's like, if you, the old phrase, if you got nothing nice to say,
no, it's
don't
not even
say
just that. It's funny because when I read that guy that said, hey, you know, it's a tough listen. Like, okay, why are you listening? Like, if it's so tough, like, are you trying to harden yourself as a man? Like, why are you listening to it?
It's just funny, man. I don't know. The thing is, everyone has that group of friends where they just roast each other. And my skin is very thick because of it. I said thick for skin. So that's why we look at these comments and laugh, but some people actually get hurt.
Yeah, they do. I don't know. Go figure, man.
It's just, I don't know, man. Inshallah khair, if I ever wronged you in any way, that's why we say, forgive me. Hopefully.
Yeah, as somebody who posts content, just the more you guys grow, you guys are going to get good positive stuff. The more, like, unfortunately,
negative feedback, 100%.
Oh, yeah,
I know it's expected.
It's going to come.
Alhamdulillah, man. It's crazy because me and Khalil know a decent amount of people, right? That's why we kind of, like, figured this thing was going to do the way it does. But, like, alhamdulillah, like, everyone we know has been supporting us like crazy.
Yeah.
We've been getting a lot more traction. It's all positive, and I was expecting a lot more negative, and it's not hitting us yet. But, like, and alhamdulillah, it's going good. We have a lot of supporters, a lot of great feedback. People in public, every time I see someone, like, oh, we love it, this is that. And, like, it's whatever, you know what I mean? It's been good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't complain. At the end of the day, we have a lot more support than we have people that just bash us. But it's just funny, like, at the way we get bashed.
I preferably have them bash me on the comments or in my face instead of just, like, not knowing. Like, you know what I mean? If I hear something from someone.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just funny. But, okay, let's wrap this up. Any last, all in all, things to say to our viewers?
No, thank you guys for having me, man. This was awesome.
Thank you for reaching out, man.
Yeah, no, thank
really,
you.
we appreciate you reaching out.
It was definitely a great, I think this is one of the best episodes. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love this. I knew it was going to be a great one.
And I really, he has a movie, like, script on his hand. That's a fantastic story. Once he becomes a lawyer, inshallah, bro, it's a script right into heaven.
Voila, there you go, bro. Put you out there.
So
all right, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on the page. We get 19,000 views on 13 videos, which is not bad.
Yeah.
Not enough subscribers, guys.
Right.
Please click the button down here. We have merch available. If you want an instant delivery, just DM us anything you want. It's all on our highlights on our Instagram page. I'll come drop it off. If you don't want to see my ugly face dropping you off anything, just we have now a merch store. You click on it, you make an order, it gets shipped to you. If you guys want to do a sponsor an episode, go ahead and reach us out, and we'll take care of you on that point. And anything else?
Yeah. So for you guys that don't know Cal, I'm gonna be uploading. Well, not uploading. I'm gonna be attaching the link to your. You said it was called the Gravel Scale.
The Gravel Institute, yeah.
The Gravel Institute. It's like a 40-minute documentary on his story, so you guys can learn more about him. It's gonna be on. I'm gonna try to put it, if the link hopefully attaches to the Instagram description, as well as the YouTube video when the episode drops. You guys will see everything at the bottom, so you guys can click, learn more about him. Go ahead, shout out your social media so people can follow you, get to know you.
Yes, thanks, man. So on TikTok, it's Khalil Ray Jr., same thing on Instagram, and YouTube is RAYYJR039.
Awesome, awesome.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that episode, and stay classy.
Have a good night.
All right.